everybody, and welcome to Plaidstallions Toy Ventures. I'm Brian, your host, and this episode is inspired by a conversation I had with a friend of mine who asked me if I still collected Mego Knock-Offs and I was still into that scene, and I of course said yes, and I realized that I haven't really done a video about these in over 7 months, which shocked me. I've been busy, but I didn't realize how long it had been since I'd touched this topic. And well, yeah, there's been some really great developments. And what really set this episode in motion was the fact that I got a box of eclectic items that I really do want to share. So it's a great time to dig into this package. And then I'll show you some of the other knockoffs I've picked up over the few months, including my all-time grail in the knockoff world. But let's begin with what's new in the mail and unbox these fabulous characters. So the first thing I have here is Galaxy Trek. Now the artwork on this looks like it's cribbed badly from one of those UK annuals that they were pumping out during the 70s. These are hardback books that they usually have gorgeous painted covers, and then the interiors are some unrelated stuff and gold key Star Trek comic reprints, which I just love. This Galaxy Trek figure is really interesting. It is just an unused Mr. Spock from the Star Trek line, but he's in an outfit I honestly do not recognize. It is Mego scale. It has the proper buttons in the back, but I have never seen an outfit like this. If you guys have seen this action figure outfit before, let me know in the comments. And Mr. Spock, of course, has the logo of Galaxy Trek, which is GS. I really don't know what that's supposed to mean, or if it has any correlation with this at all. Maybe GS stood for something else, and that's what this outfit's from. I'm really not sure. But this is a real fun and unique one. I really love the red coloring of the header card, as well as the mystery of the uniform itself. I'd love to know where it comes from, because it's very curious, and it's very well made. Our next subject is Zorro! And yeah, I've had a couple of different bootleg Zorros from the 70s. Mostly, I think, because in the UK, Zorro television reruns were very popular that actually inspired an officially licensed Disney Zorro figure from Palitoy. I've done a video on that. I'll put the link here. This is not the first 8-inch Zorro knockoff I've gotten. In fact, I have one that I'll show right here that's more on a AHI body. But what interests me about this character is he is on what we call a Tong body. Tong made some really interesting 8-inch Mego knockoffs, and honestly, and this might be controversial, I think the body they use is actually superior to the Mego 8-inch body. It's bandless, it has high articulation, and it's really sturdy and well made. Also, yeah, they made a Spider-Man. I'm not sure if it's licensed. It is absolutely a complete rip of the Mego Spider-Man figure. It's identical. We did a issue of Toy Ventures magazine, I think it's number 9, where we talked about this, but I probably should do a video about this. It's a pretty amazing discovery. It was by my friend Vincent. The head is definitely a rip on Big Jim. Big Jim was extremely popular in Europe, and that's where you usually find these Tong figures, is France or Belgium. Although, as you'll find out later in this episode, they also came out in Australia. I'd say the most popular Tong line with this figure is called Steve the Adventurer. It's from Belgium. There's also Steve the Pirate. It's some real craziness, and there's actually a Facebook group just dedicated to this, run by a couple guys I know. So this figure has painted Steve's hair black, and then they've also deckled on a kind of Robin mask for him and a mustache, and that completes the Zorro look with a standard black outfit, and of course Zorro's Z logo that he's famous for. And he appears to have a sword. I'm not sure if it's the right kind of sword for Zorro, but you know, who cares? It's probably a cocktail sword. I really like this figure. I can't get over how nice it is. It does look like something that was officially licensed. I never take these guys out of the baggies, but this one I want to really badly. And finally, this box contains something I'm very fond of, and that is the Planet of the Apes in the form of this Ape Wars play figure. Over the years, I've picked up several creative ways of getting rid of Planet of the Apes overstock, such as Space of the Apes or Telly Play Figure. Those are the two main ones I have. But I'm always welcoming a new header card, especially one as gorgeous as this. The figure itself is a General Ursus, Urko, depending on where you land on that controversial subject. But to me, he will always be Ursus, in a brown Cornelius outfit. This is a really dark brown suit, which is unusual. It is a variant, but I've never seen one this dark. So as if I didn't already think this is a really cool figure, it's made better by this rare variation. He is wearing just stock Action Jackson or Soldier Ape boots. No moccasins for this guy. So that ends my new arrivals, but let's talk about what I've picked up in the last 7 months, because there's been some really interesting things going on here. If you watch this channel at all, you probably recognize this header card. This superhero figure line is basically a way of getting rid of unsold, incomplete, and factory second Mego superheroes. The majority of these you find are usually Batman or Captain America or Spider-Man. This one is a true joy for me because not only is it a mashup, it's a fun mashup of two lesser found Mego characters. This is either a really cool custom of Johnny Storm, or alternatively, Aquaman is on fire. This is a real factory odds and ends piece. Aquaman has a red torso, but no other Spider-Man attributes. I have to think, judging from all the figures I've seen over the years through this, that a lot of them were just assembled from whatever was left. These are post-production figures, and these are basically just putting odds and ends together to make a quick buck. This episode actually has a couple of knockoff grails, things I've been looking for decades that have finally somehow gotten into my hands. And the first one is this Karate Warrior. I'm really passionate about ninjas and martial arts figures in general in the Mego scale. I've been looking for one of these guys since I first laid eyes upon it, and luckily my friend Steve sold me his, and if I ever do sell this, it's only going back to Steve. Like I mentioned in this Zorro segment, this Danny Dare, Steve the Adventurer, Demo Man head by Tong / Bogi really got around, and here he is, pretending to be a young Ralph Macchio, as you can see on the card art. This was by Len Hunter Toys, a very prolific Australian company who did bring in a lot of interesting things to the Australian marketplace, including reissuing some AHI toys in the 1980s. The word knockoff often implies poorly made, and for good reason, let's face it, but in this case, this is a quality toy. It could really survive play. A lot of friends of mine are collecting Steve the Adventurer, and it's not something I can get into, but I understand why. This is really gorgeous stuff. Master of Ninja cost me about $33 on eBay, and gladly spent it. I love ninja action figures. I love knockoff ninja action figures. And I was very drawn to the ridiculous, showy nature of this ninja's outfit. It's like a Godfrey Ho movie, if you know that reference. The head used on this thing is a Ken head that has been used for decades. I swear you could still find a figure like this in a dollar store. And over the years, I have seen so many overstock outfits on this. And what I didn't know was this garish outfit was never intended to be a ninja outfit. It's from the Boy George doll. This is the color by numbers outfit, which just adds a layer of ridiculousness to this. And wow, was this, $35 well spent. That makes sense because I have seen these figures with Michael Jackson outfits on, as well as like $6 Million Man and Moonraker and Star Trek. It seems whatever factory was making these clothes just had so much overstock. They were slapping them on a cheap doll and creating incredible comedy for YouTubers. Along those same lines, I picked up a pair of these West German fashion dolls called Marion. I've had a couple of these over the years. One of them had Doctor Who's outfit on. These are wearing discarded Mattel Space 1999 outfits. And the outfits aren't exactly a perfect fit for a 12-inch doll. The one in Dr. Russell's outfit looks like she's had a bit of a growth spurt. But again, that's the kind of charm that brings me into this. Next up will be my last purchase, and you're not going to believe this one. Hang tight. Issue 13 of our magazine, Toy Ventures, is shipping this week, and it features articles on Aquaman toys, Mego's long-lost plans for 1983, and much, much more. You can find the info at the Plaidstallions shop, and the link is below. Thank you for considering. I'm still very much in awe of my final update here. Ever since I saw this character in a Tomart book in 1991, so I would have been 20, it has been something I have sought. And 30 years later, I had actually given up on the idea of ever owning a carded version of this figure, Mr. Rock from Lincoln International. Those of you that follow the channel know I am hardcore about the Lincoln monsters and many of their 8-inch figures. And any time someone asks me the question, what's the one toy you wish was in your collection? It would be Mr. Rock. I'd always say Mr. Rock would be a nice thing to have, but I never thought I'd get there. I spent a demonstrable time in the 2010s, shouting into the void of the internet, asking about Mr. Rock, putting up ads and mentions and that sort of thing. However, as I got older, I got a little more content and less passionate about what I didn't have. So I was really shocked to get an email in February from a couple who had found a carded Mr. Rock in a deceased relative's home. This person was not a toy collector. The folks have no clue why it was in the house, and they asked me what it was worth. We chatted, I looked at what I could afford, and then I doubled it and made an offer. And about a week later, I was staring at a carded Mr. Rock on my desk. And by staring at it, I mean staring at it and thinking, is this real? Did I really get here? I am very grateful for this opportunity. I can't begin to tell you folks. And I will be paying him off probably until the summertime. You may notice that I'm going to have a toy sale soon. Keep your eyes on the socials. So there you go. That is my knockoff catch-up episode. I hope you enjoyed it, especially you, John. And thanks for inspiring this. Thank you, as always, for watching. If you're new to this, please consider hitting like and subscribe. We do this every week. If you're not new, thanks for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. What's your favorite knockoff in this pile? Let me know in the comments below, or hit me up in our Facebook group, Mego Knock-Off Headquarters, where I gotta tell you, I learn a lot. There are some folks with some deep knowledge in there, and they're willing to share. Until next time, everyone, be well and talk toys, not others. Cheers.